A low-carb diet can assist you with getting thinner and control diabetes and different conditions. Some high-carb nourishments clearly should be maintained a strategic distance from, for example, sugar-improved refreshments, cake, and candy. However, making sense of which staple nourishments to constrain is all the more testing. A portion of these nourishments are even generally solid, only inadmissible for a low-carb diet because of their high number of carbs. Your all-out day-by-day carb target decides if you have to restrict a portion of these nourishments or maintain a strategic distance from them through and through. Low-carb eats less carbs ordinarily contain 20 to 100 grams of carbs every day, in view of individual resilience. Here are 14 nourishments to maintain a strategic distance from or limit on a low-carb diet. 1. Bread and grains. Bread is a staple nourishment in numerous societies. It comes in different structures, including portions, moves, bagels, and flatbreads, for example, tortillas. Be that as it may, these are high in carbs. This is valid for entire grain assortments just as those produced using refined flour. Despite the fact that carb checks shift dependent on fixings and part estimates, here are the normal means famous breads: 1, 2, 3, 4. White bread, 1 cut, 14 grams of carbs, 1 of which is fiber. Entire wheat bread, 1 cut, 17 grams of carbs, 2 of which are fiber. Flour tortilla, 10-inch, 36 grams of carbs, 2 of which are fiber. Bagel, 3-inch, 29 grams of carbs, 1 of which is fiber. Contingent upon your own carb resistance, eating a sandwich, burrito, or bagel could put you close or over your day-by-day limit. In the event that you, despite everything, need to appreciate bread, make your own low-carb portions at home. Most grains, including rice, wheat, and oats, are additionally high in carbs and should be constrained or maintained a strategic distance from on a low-carb diet. Synopsis. Most breads and grains, including entire grains and entire grain bread, are excessively high in carbs to remember for a low-carb diet. 2. Some natural product. A high admission of products of the soil has reliably been connected to a lower danger of malignant growth and coronary illness. 5 trusted source, 6 trusted source, 7 trusted source. Be that as it may, numerous natural products are high in carbs and may not be reasonable for low-carb eats less carbs. A run-of-the-mill serving of natural product is 1 cup, 120 grams, or 1 little piece. For example, a little apple contains 21 grams of carbs, 4 of which originate from fiber. 8. On an exceptionally low-carb diet, it's likely a smart thought to stay away from certain organic products, particularly sweet and dried natural products, which have high carb tallies: 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Banana, 1 medium, 27 grams of carbs, 3 of which are fiber. Raisins, 1 ounce, 28 grams, 22 grams of carbs, 1 of which is fiber. Dates, 2 enormous, 36 grams of carbs, 4 of which are fiber. Mango, cut, 1 cup, 165 grams, 28 grams of carbs, 3 of which are fiber. Berries are lower in sugar and higher in fiber than different organic products. Consequently, limited quantities, around 1/2 cup, 50 grams, can be delighted in even on exceptionally low carb consumes less calories. Rundown. Numerous organic products ought to be restricted on a low-carb diet, contingent upon your own carb resistance. All things considered, berries can once in a while be delighted in. 3. Bland vegetables. Most eating regimens permit a boundless admission of low-starch vegetables. Numerous vegetables are exceptionally high in fiber, which can help weight reduction and glucose control. 14 trusted source, 15 trusted source, 16 trusted source. In any case, some high-starch vegetables contain more absorbable carbs than fiber and ought to be constrained on a low-carb diet. In addition, in case you're following an exceptionally low-carb diet, your best decision is to keep away from these bland vegetables out and out. 17, 18, 19, 20. Corn, 1 cup, 175 grams, 41 grams of carbs, 5 of which are fiber. Potato, 1 medium, 37 grams of carbs, 4 of which are fiber. Sweet potato, yam, 1 medium, 24 grams of carbs, 4 of which are fiber. Beets, cooked, 1 cup, 150 grams, 16 grams of carbs, 4 of which are fiber. Prominently, you can appreciate a few low-carb vegetables on a low-carb diet. Rundown. Albeit numerous vegetables are low in carbs, a couple are very high. It's ideal to pick for the most part non-boring, high-fiber vegetables when constraining your carb consumption. 4. Pasta. Pasta is a flexible and economical staple yet exceptionally high in carbs. 1 cup 250 grams of cooked pasta contains 43 grams of carbs, just 3 of which are fiber, 21. A similar measure of entire wheat pasta is just a somewhat better alternative at 37 grams of carbs, including 6 grams of fiber, 22. On a low-carb diet, eating spaghetti or different kinds of pasta is certainly not a smart thought except if you expend an extremely little bit, which isn't reasonable for a great many people. In case you're longing for pasta yet would prefer not to go over your carb limit, take a stab at making spiralized vegetables or shirataki noodles. Rundown. Both standard and entire wheat pasta are high in carbs. Spiralized vegetables or shirataki noodles offer solid low-carb options. 5. Oat. It's notable that sugary breakfast oats contain a ton of carbs. Nonetheless, you might be astonished at the carb checks of solid oats. For example, 1 cup 90 grams of cooked standard or moment cereal gives 32 grams of carbs, just 4 of which are fiber, 23. Steel-cut oats are less prepared than different kinds of oats and by and large viewed as more beneficial. Be that as it may, a negligible 1/2 cup 45 grams of cooked steel-cut oats has 29 grams of carbs, including 5 grams of fiber, 24. Entire grain oats will in general pack significantly more. A 1/2 cup 61 grams of granola harbors 37 grams of carbs and 7 grams of fiber, while a similar measure of grape nuts packs an incredible 46 grams of carbs with 5 grams of fiber, 25-26. Contingent upon your own carb objective, a bowl of grain could without much of a stretch put you over your all-out carb limit, even before milk is included. Synopsis. Indeed, even sound, entire grain oats are high in carbs and ought to be maintained a strategic distance from or limited on a low-carb diet. 6. Lager. Liquor can be delighted in with some restraint on a low-carb diet. Truth be told, dry wine has not many carbs and hard alcohol none. In any case, brew is genuinely high in carbs. All things considered. Indeed, even light brew contains 6 grams for each can, 27-28. Likewise, considers propose that fluid carbs will in general advance weight acquire than carbs from strong nourishment. That is on the grounds that fluid carbs aren't as filling as strong nourishment and don't appear to decrease your craving so a lot. 29 Trusted source. Outline. Abstain from drinking brew on a low-carb diet. Dry wine and spirits are better liquor choices. 7. Improved yogurt. Yogurt is a delicious, adaptable nourishment. Albeit plain yogurt is genuinely low in carbs, numerous individuals will in general eat organic product enhanced, improved low-fat or non-fat yogurt. Improved yogurt frequently contains the same number of carbs as a pastry. 1 cup 245 grams of non-fat improved natural product yogurt can have as much as 47 grams of carbs, which is considerably higher than a practically identical serving of dessert, 30-31. Be that as it may, picking a 1/2 cup 123 grams of plain Greek yogurt bested with 1/2 cup 50 grams of blackberries or raspberries will keep edible carbs under 10 grams. Rundown. Improved low-fat or non-fat yogurt regularly has the same number of carbs as frozen yogurt and different pastries. 8. Juice. Juice is one of the most noticeably terrible refreshments you can drink on a low-carb diet. Despite the fact that it gives a few supplements, organic product juice is extremely high in quick processing carbs that cause your glucose to increment quickly. For example, 12 ounces 355 milliliters of squeezed apple harbors 48 grams of carbs. This is significantly more than pop, which has 39 grams. Grape juice gives an astounding 60 grams of carbs per 12-ounce 355 ml serving, 32, 33, 34. Despite the fact that vegetable juice doesn't contain such huge numbers of carbs as its natural product partners, a 12-ounce 355 ml serving despite everything has 16 grams of carbs, just 2 of which originate from fiber, 35. Additionally, juice is another case of fluid carbs that your mind's hunger place may not process similarly as strong carbs. Drinking juice can prompt expanded craving and nourishment consumption later in the day. 29 Trusted source. Synopsis. Organic product juice is a high-carb drink that ought to be constrained or maintained a strategic distance from, particularly on a low-carb diet. 9. Low-fat and without fat serving of mixed greens dressings. A wide assortment of plates of mixed greens can be appreciated consistently on a low-carb diet. Be that as it may, business dressings, particularly low-fat and sans-fat assortments, frequently wind up including more carbs than you may anticipate. For instance, 2 tablespoons 30 milliliters of without fat French dressing contain 10 grams of carbs. An equivalent bit of without fat farm dressing has 11 grams of carbs, 36-37. Numerous individuals normally utilize multiple tablespoons 30 milliliters, especially on an enormous entree plate of mixed greens. To limit carbs, dress your serving of mixed greens with a velvety, full-fat dressing. Even better, utilize a sprinkle of vinegar and olive oil, which is connected to improved heart well-being and may help weight reduction. 38 Trusted source, 39 Trusted source. Outline. Evade without fat and low-fat plate of mixed greens dressings, which are commonly high in carbs. Utilize velvety dressings or olive oil and vinegar. 10. Beans and vegetables. Beans and vegetables are nutritious nourishments. They can give numerous medical advantages, including diminished irritation and coronary illness hazard. 40 Trusted source, 41 Trusted source, 42 Trusted source, 43 Trusted source. Albeit high in fiber, they additionally contain a considerable measure of carbs. Contingent upon individual resilience, you might have the option to remember modest quantities for a low-carb diet. Here are the carb means: 1 cup 160 to 200 grams of cooked beans and vegetables, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. Lentils, 40 grams of carbs, 16 of which are fiber. Peas, 25 grams of carbs, 9 of which are fiber. Dark beans, 41 grams of carbs, 15 of which are fiber. Pinto beans, 45 grams of carbs, 15 of which are fiber. Chickpeas, 45 grams of carbs, 12 of which are fiber. Kidney beans, 40 grams of carbs, 13 of which are fiber. Synopsis. Beans and vegetables are solid, high-fiber nourishments. You can remember modest quantities for a low-carb diet, contingent upon your day-by-day carb limit. 11. Nectar or sugar in any structure. You're most likely very much aware that nourishments high in sugar, for example, treats, sweets, and cake, are untouchable on a low-carb diet. In any case, you may not understand that normal types of sugar can have the same number of carbs as white sugar. Truth be told, a large number of them are much higher in carbs when estimated in tablespoons. Here are the carb means: 1 tablespoon of a few kinds of sugar, 50, 51, 52, 53. White sugar, 12.6 grams of carbs. Maple syrup, 13 grams of carbs. Agave nectar, 16 grams of carbs. Nectar, 17 grams of carbs. Additionally, these sugars give next to zero healthy benefit. When carb admission is restricted, it's particularly imperative to pick nutritious, high-fiber carb sources. To improve nourishments or refreshments without including carbs, pick a sound sugar. Outline. In case you're on a low-carb diet, keep away from sugar, nectar, maple syrup, and different types of sugar, which are high in carbs however low in supplements. 12. Chips and wafers. Chips and wafers are mainstream nibble nourishments, however their carbs can include rapidly. 1 ounce 28 grams of tortilla chips contains 18 grams of carbs, just 1 of which is fiber. This is around 10 to 15 normal measured chips, 54. Saltines fluctuate in carb content contingent upon preparing. Notwithstanding, even entire wheat wafers contain around 19 grams of carbs per 1 ounce, 28 grams, including 3 grams of fiber, 55. Prepared nibble nourishments are regularly expended in huge amounts inside a brief time frame. It's ideal to stay away from them, particularly in case you're on a carb-limited eating routine. Synopsis. Abstain from eating chips, saltines, and other prepared, grain put-together nibble nourishments while with respect to a low-carb diet. 13. Milk. Milk is a fantastic wellspring of a few supplements, including calcium, potassium, and a few B nutrients. Be that as it may, it's additionally genuinely high in carbs. Entire milk offers a similar 12 to 13 grams of carbs per 8 ounces 240 milliliters as low-fat and without fat assortments 56, 57, 58. In case you're just utilizing a tablespoon or two 15 to 30 milliliters in espresso once per day, you might have the option to remember limited quantities of milk for your low-carb diet. In any case, cream or creamer are better choices in the event that you expend espresso all the more as often as possible, since these contain negligible carbs. On the off chance that you appreciate drinking milk by the glass or use it to make lattes or smoothies, consider attempting unsweetened almond or coconut milk. Synopsis. Including a limited quantity of milk to espresso once a day is probably not going to cause issues on a low-carb diet. Make an effort not to savor it huge amounts. 14. Sans gluten prepared products. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, grain, and rye. Without gluten consumes less calories have gotten exceptionally well known lately and are required for individuals who have celiac ailment. Celiac infection is an immune system condition in which your gut gets aggravated because of gluten. So, without gluten breads, biscuits, and other heated merchandise are not regularly low in carbs. Actually, they regularly gloat significantly more carbs than their glutinous partners. In addition, the flour used to make these nourishments is ordinarily produced using starches and grains that will in general raise glucose quickly. 59 Trusted source. Adhering to entire nourishments or utilizing almond or coconut flour to make your own low-carb heated products is a superior technique than expending handled without gluten food sources. Synopsis. Without gluten breads and biscuits can be as high in carbs as customary prepared products. They're likewise regularly made with carb sources that raise glucose rapidly. The primary concern. When following a low-carb diet, it's critical to pick nourishments that are exceptionally nutritious yet low in carbs. A few nourishments ought to be limited while others maintained a strategic distance from through and through. Your decisions depend partially on your own carb resilience. Meanwhile, center around eating an assortment of sound nourishments.